Hello dear students, in this video we are going to study about Fourier analysis, the Fourier series and Fourier transformation. We will start from the basic part of Fourier series and Fourier transformation. Some of you must have studied Fourier series in your mathematics classes, but as far as your network analysis is concerned, very basic concept is required at the initial level, and after the maturity of the subject, elevated concept is actually required from Fourier analysis, that is Fourier series and Fourier transformation. First of all, let us understand periodic and aperiodic signals. You might have read these signals in your initial classes, periodic and aperiodic signals. Periodic signals are defined as that these are the signals such that x of t plus t is equal to xt. That is, if you add x t plus some fundamental capital T, it will give you x of t. If any signal is following this kind of mathematical rule, then definitely this is periodic signal. If there exists small capital T, this is t, for every t the x of t plus t is equal to xt. It means what? At every interval of this capital T, at every interval of this capital T, the signal, the information is repeating itself. It is repeating or replicating itself. It means what? It is periodic with period capital T. Here I have given the definition. The smallest value of capital T, the smallest value of capital T that satisfies the definition is called the periodic function. This one is your aperiodic signal, aperiodic signal. This one is your aperiodic signal. Why? Because see this is your time axis and this is your signal axis, where we have the amplitude of the signal xt. You can very much analyze or see that there is no scope of adding small t, or if you add some fundamental t, the signal is not going to repeat itself after that t. But see this diagram, see this waveform. This is your periodic. Why? After addition of this capital T, the signal is repeating itself. See this, the signal is repeating itself, hence satisfying this equation. So this is the basic difference between periodic and aperiodic. Now let us understand right hand signal, or it is also called as right sided signals and left sided signals. See this, a right sided signal is 0 for every t lesser than t. This is your t axis, this is your t axis, and for every t lesser than t, it exists 0. This is your 0. Okay, so this is your right side signal. One basic feature why it is called right sided signal is that because at the right side of capital T it is having waveform. See this, at the right side of capital T it is having waveform. Same is applicable for your left sided signal. Same is applicable for your left sided signal. At the left of capital T, the waveform exists, and at the right side of t greater than t, for every t greater than t, it is 0. See this. Now there is one more signal called bounded and unbounded signals. As the name itself suggests, unbounded means you are not going to bound it. It is very difficult to say where it is actually terminating. See this waveform, it is increasing, it is increasing, it is increasing, and it will go up to infinity, and it will go up to infinity. It will go up to infinity. So it is called, this is unbounded. And where is the bounded? This is your bounded one. It is going to terminate at your x-axis or one of the axes of your system. So it is bounded. See this? This is going up, going left, going up, going left. It is ultimately reaching to minus infinity. It is not bounded. It is unbounded. This one is very important signals, and we all have studied in our previous mathematics classes, or must have studied in our mathematics classes or in somewhere else. It is called even and odd signals, or you must have studied this concept under even and odd functions. The same concept is here. Signal is actually represented by a function, mathematical functions expression, that is the same thing. So even signal I have represented here xe of t, and odd functions xo of t. It is defined as even function is defined as xt is equal to xe of minus t. See this? If the argument of xe is put minus t, the result will be your xe t. And your odd function, if the argument is minus t of your odd function, you will receive negative value. Xo t will be equal to negative value. The first diagram, the first waveform shows you, the signal shows you the even function which is symmetrical about this y-axis, If you happen to wrap this portion, it will actually overlap between this. But this is not symmetrical. Odd function is not symmetrical. This is not symmetrical about this. If you happen to wrap, this will come under this portion, and this will remain here it is. Okay, and if you happen to wrap across this will come here. This will not overlap. So this is not symmetrical about any of the x-axis or y-axis. So it is not your even function or even signal. Why it is called odd signal? It is called odd signal because see this portion is your plus 1. If you put minus t in the argument of this, you will get minus of this function, like this. Any signal is a sum of unique, odd and even signal. In the heading of even and odd signal, even and odd functions, we have studied this. Any function or any signal is a sum of unique, odd and even signal. Using this law, let us write mathematical expression. Any signal means x of t. This is your x of t. X of t can be written as x even plus x odd, and x of minus t can be written as x even minus x odd of t. That will yield x even t is equal to half of xt plus x of minus t, and x odd t is equal to half of x of t minus x of minus t. See this. By these four signals you can analyze the above expressions, that is saying any signal is a sum of unique, odd and even signals. We can write also that x of t is equal to x even t plus x odd t, and x minus t is equal to x even t minus x odd t. That expression is actually yielding what we have done. We have added xt and x minus t. We have added this equation and this equation. So what it has become? It has become x of t plus x of minus t is equal to xt plus xt twice xt. Okay, and this one xot and minus xot gets cancelled out. There is a twice x even t, so that 2 is actually sent here. Real and complex signals. This one is again very important as far as your Fourier analysis, Fourier series is concerned. The whole Fourier is actually concerned about real part and the imaginary part, that is complex one. An important class of signals are CT signals of the form continuous time signals of the form CT is xt is equal to e raised to power st, and the second one is your DT discrete time signals of the form x of n is equal to z raised to power n. Where z and s are complex numbers. Z and s are complex numbers for both exponential, continuous time and discrete time signal. X is a complex quantity and has a real and imaginary part, or we can also say that a magnitude and an angle. What is most convenient depends on that analysis. Let us have an example. For example, suppose S, which is your imaginary, S is equal to j pi by 8 and Z is equal to e raised to power j pi by 8. Then the real parts are, I have shown this by real part of x of t. Real part of x of t is equal to, that is, we have real part of e raised to power j pi t upon 8 is equal to cos of pi t by 8. Similarly, real part of x of n is equal to real part of e raised to power j pi n upon 8, that is cos pi n upon 8. Let us move towards a very basic concept, which is nothing but a questions, that is, why do we need Fourier analysis? There is a very basic questions rising from student side, and I have seen these questions most of the times whenever I am teaching Fourier analysis, Fourier series and Fourier transformation. Students tend to ask these questions very often, that is, sir, why do we need Fourier analysis? If there is any way that we do not need Fourier analysis, and they are asking for this, my answer is that in this telecommunication era, in communication we send and receive information coded with signal over a medium. See this, in communication we send and receive information coded with signal over a medium. The medium and the hardware corrupts the signal. What happens? The medium and the hardware tend to add some unwanted signal into the information signal, tend to add some noise into the signal, and that may create very difficult situation for the receiver. The receiver has to extract the information from the corrupted signal. The transmitted signal have well defined spectral contents. See this, the transmitted signals have well defined spectral contents. So if the receiver can do spectral analysis of the received signal, then it can extract the information. And how it is actually done, this spectral analysis? This spectral analysis is actually done through Fourier analysis, Fourier series and Fourier transformations. All this whole process of getting information as it was sent to the receiver point is actually well supported by analysis of Fourier transformation or Fourier series, that is whole Fourier analysis. In a nutshell, let us have what actually Fourier analysis is looking. Fourier analysis can look at an unknown signal. See this, what Fourier analysis is doing for us. Fourier analysis can look at an unknown signal, this is your unknown signal, and do an equivalent of chemical analysis. What we are doing actually in chemical analysis, in chemical analysis, in our chemistry lab, we are actually identifying color, odor, various things as the parameter may be. Likewise, we are doing for the signal the frequencies and the relative quantities in the signal. So by what means we are doing this analysis of finding out different frequencies and different relative quantities in the signal? The means is, the tool is, the mathematical background is Fourier analysis. Hence, Fourier analysis is helping us to understand, to decode unknown signal, identifying various frequencies and their relative quantities in the signal. That's all, and that is so simple to understand this. Fourier series. In a block diagram, we can understand actually what Fourier series is. The first part is any periodic power signal. This is your first diagram, first block. We have any periodic power signal, right? All right. So Fourier series is actually infinite sum of sines and cosines at different frequencies. That's it, nothing more special. It is so simple. Fourier series is nothing but infinite sum of sines and cosines. What is sines? Sin theta or cos theta. From trigonometry we have studied this. It is infinite sum of sines and cosines at different frequencies. That's it. It is so simple. Now let us start Fourier series. That was your background behind to study Fourier series, and we have actually gone very well to understand how it is actually going into the subject. Properties. Properties are very important as far as your Fourier series is concerned. The first property is linearity. The first property is linearity. That is, let there be a two signal fx and gx. So multiply fx with a constant a like this, and multiply the second signal with constant b, and add both. You will get a of fu plus b of gu. It means what? It is linear, it is not going to change. Scaling. Scaling means to scale up or scale down. That is, if the argument of the function of the signal is f of ax, then it is equivalent to 1 by a f of u by a. It is actually like this. See this Fourier series. The first one is your exponential representation. Wt is equal to summation from n is equal to minus infinity to infinity wn e raised to power j 2 pi nt by t0, where wn is equal to 1 by t0 integral from minus t0 by 2 to plus t0 2 by 2 of wt into e raised to power minus j 2 pi nt upon t0 with respect to dt. And this is your period f0, or f0 is equal to 1 by t0, that is t0 is equal to period. Periodic waveform. You can see there exists t0. If you add t0 into this function wt, you will get the repetition of this signals over t0. So it is waveform, periodic waveform. This is your two-sided amplitude spectrum. How amplitude spectrum looks like? So this is your two-sided, left hand side and right hand side, two-sided, one this way and one this way. So it is your amplitude spectrum. You have spikes. This is like this. So this spikes is your amplitude. The value of wn at f0, 2f0, 3f0, likewise minus f0 at minus 2f0, at minus 3f0. The value at this position of frequencies is your amplitude of wn. So it is two-sided amplitude spectrum. Now let us look Fourier transform. Fourier series of periodic signals, that is finite amplitudes. Fourier series of periodic signals is your finite amplitude, and spectral components separated by discrete frequencies intervals of f0 is equal to 1 by t0. We have seen this in previous diagram. Discrete frequencies means frequencies which are not continuous. It is a step by step. If you happen to imagine the concept of discrete, just imagine a staircase. The staircase is not a ramp walk. It is not continuous. The step is step by step. One step, two step, three step. It is not continuous. Okay. So likewise, discrete frequencies is not continuous. Between two consecutive frequencies there is a gap. The interval is here given f0 is equal to 1 by t0. So this is your discrete one. We want a spectral representation of aperiodic signals. For what signal we tend to know the spectral analysis or spectral representation? For aperiodic signal, we do model an aperiodic signal as a periodic signal. With what we do? For a periodic signal, we do a spectral analysis and we do model of them. By what parameter? That is, we make it to model as a periodic signal with t0 greater than infinity If it is so, then f0 is greater than 0. The spectrum is continuous. The spectrum is then continuous. Properties of Fourier transforms. Properties of Fourier transform. We have so many properties of Fourier transform, like this one, like this one. If Wt is real, then W minus f is equal to W star f, or somebody read as W cross f. If Wf is real, then Wt is even. If Wf is imaginary, then Wt is odd. We have seen linearity, this is time delay, this is scaling, we have seen duality. We will try to understand in elaborate manner by adding example in upcoming videos. Fourier transform. This is a Fourier transform. The Fourier transform represents a periodic functions as a continuous summation of sines and cosines. The continuous summation of sines and cosines. That is, f is equal to integral of fx e raised to power minus j2 pi ux with respect to dx. F of u comma v is equal to double integral of f of x comma y e raised to power minus j2 pi ux plus vy with respect to dx dy, where e raised to power zx jx e raised to power jx is equal to cos of x plus j of sin of x. That is, f of u is equal to real part of u plus iota imaginary part of u. Some definitions. That the continuous Fourier transform, that is WF, continuous Fourier transform, WF is equal to Fourier of Wt is equal to integral from minus infinity to plus infinity Wt into e raised to power minus j2 pi ft with respect to dt, with respect to t or dt. That is your Wf is equal to x of f plus jyf. Please mark this formula. So Wf is equal to absolute Wf e raised to power j theta f. That is our, we have introduced phase spectrum, and this is your amplitude spectrum. This is your amplitude portion. Now IFT, that is your inverse Fourier transform. IFT, Wt in what we are actually getting in inverse Fourier transform, that at the one time we have done Fourier transformation of a signal, so we have get a Fourier transform. Now we want to back our signal original form, so we will do inverse Fourier. We will undo the Fourier transformation. So this is your Wt is equal to f inverse Wf is equal to integral ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity Wf e raised to power plus j2 pi ft df. Continuous Fourier transform. In a continuous Fourier transform, we want a spectral representation for aperiodic signals. Exactly, alright. What we do, we are modeling an aperiodic signal as a periodic signal with t0 greater than infinity. If it is so, then f0 is greater than 0, then the spectrum is continuous. See this. Aperiodic waveform. Aperiodic waveform has infinite time period, so we assume that at infinity, after infinity it is repeating itself, so we can say that this is your time period t0 infinity. If it time period is infinity, it means what? Frequency is 0, it is not repeating itself. This is your CFT for periodic signals. Just have a recall of this. We have studied this. CFT aperiodic signals. WF is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity Wt e raised to power minus j 2 pi ft dt. And for Fourier series periodic signals, that is your Wt is equal to summation ranging from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity Wn e raised to power j 2 pi n of 0 t, where Wn is equal to 1 by t0 integral from minus t0 by 2 to plus t0 by 2 of Wt into e raised to power minus j 2 pi n of 0 t dt. This is your CFT for periodic signal, that is your sine wave. Wt is equal to a sine 2 pi f0 t, and this is your square wave. Now Fourier transform. Kindly note, f0 is equal to minus infinity to infinity fx dx. This is also called the direct current of or the DC component. This is actually your DC component in mathematical form. This is all about in this video. We'll be continuing all the topics remaining in this concept in upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.